I'm sure that your Twitter is filled with people talking about, hey, I was stopped by the police. And we'll all have the same thing. We'll all say, we can remember the exact time. We can remember exactly what happened. It's like it's in slow motion.
Right.
Open your eyes. What can you see around?
She has been a reporter for the BBC as well as Minneapolis and Denver Public Radio, and is now the host of a new podcast called Systemic, which will explore police reform inside and out by following Black Americans working in Colorado, Minneapolis, and around the country to create change at this extraordinary time. Now, this 4-part audio series drops this week on May 19th with Jo Erickson. Jo, welcome to Come Back with Erica Cobb.
So in later episodes, you're going to hear the voices of a young man, and I mean very young. So Lawrence, he saw his cousin shot and killed by the police. He was there. He was at the time 18 years of age. He's now 20. And that whole event has marred his life in the sense that, I mean, he's gone on with this. He is fine in the sense that he's managed to steer his life and keep going, but it's been an effort. And it just amazes me that there were such inspiring people within the community. So he took that really painful moment and he got fired up, and he didn't know what he was doing. He's 18 years of age and he's trying to fight a system and say, hey, I don't want to see another Black man die. I want to make sure that no one else has the same fate as my cousin. So when Lawrence talks about his experience, I mean, I think for me the most poignant moment was so we all see body camera stuff, okay?
Right.
Everyone sees the body camera stuff, and it's horrible, and most of us will switch off and we don't want to see it. And it is traumatizing, and I wouldn't recommend anyone to watch any of that if they didn't have to. But the most poignant thing about what Lawrence said is the policeman came up to him and he said, okay, the body camera only shows you one version, the view of the officer. It doesn't show you what the officer looked like, where he had his gun, what he was doing. And I think I'm directly quoting him. It looked like he came up to me and he wanted to do something. He came up with that aggression and intimidation as if he wanted to do something. And that tells me that the system, you know, with all the little gains that people have fought so hard to get, so we got the body cam, these things are still not enough. And what you're hearing from activists is that we need to do way more. This thing isn't a quick fix where you can say, hey, we're just going to add this or we're going to do this quite. No, fundamentally some things are very wrong with the system.
Well, I know that there's a lot of people with a lot of ideas, and for something like this with Systemic, it is a big issue and there is so much work to do. But by having these conversations on your podcast like Systemic, it is a catalyst for change. So where can people find Systemic on May 19th?
So it's going to be on CPR or MPR One, or you can get it on Apple Podcasts. Those are the 3 avenues. So tune in, you'll find trailers are already on CPR, but if you need, you can also just download the podcast from Apple Podcasts.
Well, Jo Erickson, host of Systemic Podcast, dropping on May 19th. That is this week, people. So you can find it on CPR. You can find it on Apple Podcasts. And we want to hear from you. So hit us up. Let us know what your feelings are, if something really resonated with you, or if you have ideas for how law enforcement police reform can happen. The conversation needs to happen. That's where it starts. So Jo Erickson, thank you so much for spending a little time with us on Comeback with Erica Cobb. And for my Comeback community, you can check out the full podcast on my online home, comeback.tv, as well as all podcast platforms. Jo Erickson, thank you so much.